Hello, this is Hexagonalspy, the spy, and now you people will be witnessing the Abyss Shadow deck in real life. This is the card. This is the Abyss Shadow deck. So let's check the first card. Dark Horse. Good card, and here we go. Now the screen is good. Dark Horse is a good card. Can bring back a level 4 Dark Monster in the graveyard if an opponent's had to pay a spell card. Spirit Reaper cannot be stored in battle, but has a flaw that if it's targeted by an effect of a card, it's automatically destroyed. But if it inflicts damage to your opponent, then it randomly discards a card from their hand of 1. Kamori Dragon. Normal card, so yeah. Call the Haunted Trap card, a continuous trap, bring back a monster from your own graveyard of 1 monster. And here's the Black Pendant, an equipped spell card, equip it to a monster of 500 points, and it leaves the field, inflicted 500 points of damage to your opponent. Raigeki Break. Discarding a card from your hand and target 1 card in the field to be destroyed. Give me a good card. It has to be targeting the card. A field spell, Mausoleum of the Emperor. It could be a good card if it's used right, otherwise it's going to help your opponent otherwise. Either way, this card can help both players, pay another 1,000 life points for stars to normal summon without sacrificing. For each stars, it can be level 6, level 5 of 1,000, level 7, level 8 of 2,000. Kraybons, a tuner monster, Psycho Tuner. If it's on the field, negate and add 1 attack from your opponent by paying at 800 life points. Giant Germ. Now, once destroyed by battle, sent to the graveyard, inflicting 500 points of damage to your opponent, grabbing 2 more from the deck and enter the attack position. Destiny Malicious. Once in the graveyard, brings back, actually just banishes it from the graveyard, brings back its copy, summon it straight to the field from the deck. Mystical Space Typhoon, Cloud Play Magic, destroying 1 spell and trap card on the field. A counter trap, Dark Illusion. When an opponent targets a card effect of a dark monster you got in your face up, then you can use this trap card to negate that card effect and destroys it if it targets a dark monster that's face up. Here's another Giant Germ. Marju Garzet. If it's trivia 2 monsters, its attack points and defense points will become of equal to the combined attack power and defense points. Yeah. Shadow Priestess of Om. Once it's on the field, attribute 1 dark monster that you control, inflicted 800 points of damage to your opponent. Ring of Destruction. When your opponent has a monster on his or her side of the field, you can use the trap card to attribute that monster, and both of you takes damage equal to that attack power. If used for the right moment. Here's the Witch of the Black Forest. If it was sent in from the field to the graveyard, gain a monster from your deck that has defense points of 15,000 or less from your deck to add to your hand. The Chariot Maiden, a plant type tuner. When it's destroyed by battle and sent to the graveyard from the field, grabbing 2 more from the deck and summon them to the field. The Beginning of the End card, a spell. If you have 7 or more dark monsters, banish 5 dark monsters in your graveyard to draw 3 cards. Mr. Tomato. If it's destroyed by battle, it's sent to your graveyard. Summons a monster with the dark monster 15,000 or less attack points from your deck, summon straight to the field. Quick Play Magic, Mystic Walk. Sacrificing your own monster that of its force attack or defense points and to recuperate your life points. Deal with Dark Ruler. A level 7 or higher monster of yours destroyed is sent to the graveyard, allows you to summon a Berserk Dragon. Dark Arm Dragon. When you have exactly 3 Dark monsters in your graveyard, you can special summon to the field, and you can banish 1 Dark monster for its effect while it's on the field to destroy 1 card in the field. Nice and Sorcerer, a tuner monster. If this card is special summoned, removing 2 cards from your opponent's graveyard. Alright. Darnefus. If you have 3 Dark monsters in your graveyard, you banish 2 of them to put this in the graveyard and summon it straight on your next turn, and it destroys 1 spell and trap card if it's special summoned this way. A Painful Choice spell card. If you picking out 5 cards in your deck to for your opponent to choose 1 to be added to your hand, and the rest can go to the graveyard. Karibo. People should know about this guy. Discarding from your hand to make net spell damage become 0. Cyberjar, when it's flipped up, destroying all monsters on both your fields to be destroyed, and for a second effect, pick up the top 5 cards of your decks. If level 4 or lower among them, special summon them straight to the field. Damage diodes. When activated, you take half the battle damage. If it's in your graveyard, you can, banishing it from your graveyard to take half the effect damage. Helpful card, really. When you have 3 Fiend-type monsters in your graveyard, Dark Necrofury can be special summoned by banishing 3 Fiend-type monsters. And if it's destroyed from the field, target of 1 opponent's monster to have this card to equip to that monster to gain control of it. Legendary Fiend. During each of your standby phases, it gains 700 attack points. The Fiend Mega Cyber. If your opponent has 2 more monsters than you do, you special summon this card to the field. Yeah, this. Alright. When you have 5 or more Dark monsters in your graveyard, if you have no monsters on your field, you can special summon this card to the field. And while it's just on the field, you banish 1 Dark monster in your graveyard to special summon another from your graveyard. Graceful Charity. Draw 3 cards, discarding 2. Armageddon Knight. When this card is summoned to the field, sending 1 Dark monster from your deck straight to the graveyard. Handful card. Allure of Darkness. It allows you to draw 2 cards, but you need to banish a Dark monster from your hand. If you don't, then you are going to be having your hand to be discarded to the graveyard if you don't have a Dark monster in your hand. Double Kastan. When this card's treated as a 2 tribute for a Dark monster of its ability. Dark Hole. Destroyed all monsters at both of the player's fields. Black Spirit Zombie, a tuner. And once this card in the graveyard, is send 1 card from your back onto the top of the deck to special summon to the field. The drawback is, once it goes back to the graveyard, it's banished instead. The Summoned Skull. One of these top cards. And also Jack's card, Dark Resonator, a tuner. Once per turn, it cannot be destroyed by battle. One of Jack's cards, by the way, if I didn't mention that already. Escape from the Dark Dimension, a continuous trap. Target 1 banished Dark monster, and then summon its target straight to your field. If that card leaves the field, it destroys that card. Mirror Force. You should know about this one. It's one of Yugi's favorite trap cards. Mirror Force deflects the attack of the opponent's attacking monster and deflects it right back at all of the opponent's attacking position monsters. Shadow Grave. allowing both players to pick up 2 monsters from your graveyards and place them face down in a defense position. Tribute to the Doom. Discard 1 card and target 1 monster on the field. Curry Bandits. At the end phase of the turn, tribute of this card to meld the top 5 cards of your deck, and any spells and traps among them to be added straight to your hand. Cosmo Queen. The field spell, Mystic Plasma Zone, increasing all Dark Monsters' attack points by 500, decreasing the Dark Monster's defense points by 400. Your Shadow Scout, allowing opponents to draw 3 cards by checking your hands to see if there are any spells. If there are, discard them to the grave. Dark Valkyria. Well, this is on the field. If you haven't, it can be gems summoned and placing a counter on it and removing 1 counter from it to destroy 1 monster card. A counter trap, Black Horn of Heaven. When an opponent is special summon a monster, using this trap card to negate that special summon and destroy it. Dark Lord Serato. If you got 4 more Dark Monsters, tribute 1 monster, and we'll get to that later. Drain Shield. Negate the attack, gain life points equal to its attack points. Berserk Dragon. We should already get to that point. Sorry if I'm speeding things up. I'm almost reaching my limit here. Gogarth. Lajin, the Mystical Genie and the Lamp. Gore is the Emissary of the Darkness. If you, after damage calculation, drop in this card and its token for the same attack damage, and escape from the dark dimension. Dark Druid, when this card is summoned, target 1 monster and it loses 800 attack points. Rainbow Dark Dragon, when you have 7 or more dark monsters, banish its 7 dark monster to special summon it, and then at demands banishing all dark monsters on the field and the grave to increase its attack points by 500 for each one. Dark Crusader, discard a dark monster from your hand, increasing its attack points by 400. Dark Hexagonal Fusion is accounts as a substitute for any fusion material and can be used for a contact fusion while it's on the field. Doomsday Horror gains levels of 3 and defense for each dark monster being banished. And Big Eye, checking the top 5 to arrange them however you want. Call the Haunted. Premature Burial. Equip into a monster in your graveyard, pay enough 800 life points to summon that card back. Polymerization. Cherry-Mato. Dark Knight Parchef gains 1 attack for every dark monster in your graveyard. If it stores a monster in battle, draw a card and banish a dark. Rainbow Life. Discard a card to have the damage to increase your life points instead. Dark Voltanis. When a counter trap activates, tribute 1 dark monster during the turn to summon this card. And destroy 1 spell trap, I think. Card Destruction. Discard ball player's hands to draw the number of cards discarded. Red Eyes Black Dragon. Joe's favorite. Dark Tinker, also belonging to Jack. Great Marchu Garzid. Dark Trap Hole. No Destiny or Malicious. Necrogarna while in the graveyard, banishing it. Okay, I'm going to need to cut this short, but we'll be right back.